Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday morning, September 26th. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of ES&NQ. Before we can even get to what's transpiring this morning, we have to talk about yesterday and the discussion we had in our trading room. Okay? Yesterday, as you recall in ES, we barely stretched the balance high. Okay? So later in the afternoon, when the market was just doing this nonsense, really not moving anywhere, we got into a very good discussion. Somebody asked, since ES failed at its balance high, do you think we'll roll over and get the balance low? It's an excellent question. I said, well, let's talk about it. I said, first and foremost, unless you go from a balance high to a balance low, really basically in the same day or vice versa, one day, and you've heard me say this many, many times, one day doesn't make a market. Number two, I said, even though the bulls failed up there, we hit a new all-time high. The Dow hit a new all-time high. They're both leading. But more importantly than any of that, after they failed up there, the bears had their opportunity yesterday, late morning into the afternoon. We had two very small sets of single prints. Doesn't matter how small they are. Sometimes large moves have little beginnings. We've seen that before. Well, that turned out to be not the case as we took the trend day back. Okay? Now, we also had an outside day up yesterday. Didn't really do much, obviously, at all. But when the bears started pushing FG, H, and I, there was nothing between where they were trading and the previous day's low, which would have given them the opportunity not only to hold trend, but to possibly have an outside day down. And none of that occurred. So by the end of the day, the bulls failed up here, but the bears certainly failed. So what was the market telling us? You need more market-generated information. The problem with a lot of traders is they try to have their bias, their belief, tell them what the market's doing, rather than the market telling them what it's attempting to do. Think about that. That's huge as a trader. So coming into today, where we closed, the monthly was up, the weekly was up, NQ had turned both the weekly and daily up. Their monthly's still in balance. So what did we need in the S&P on the daily? You needed more market-generated information. We're always going to give you both sides of the picture here. When somebody on social media, and believe me, there's a lot of them, even ones that I've respected in the past. I call them carnival barkers. They just love to say, "Oh, it's over for the bulls," right? Nobody ever knows if it's over for the bulls or the bears. All you can do is go based off of market-generated information. And what this market was telling us after yesterday's close was that we needed more market-generated information to determine if the daily is going to attempt to come out of balance to the upside again, or are we going to start trading that towards the balance low? And now, here we are this morning with 70 minutes to go prior to the opening, and we're attempting to explode out of balance to the upside. That's MGI. NQ, on the other hand, this gap would not have gotten filled unless you had a huge gap above it, which right now they're trying to do, or an incredible strong trend day inside of it. We said yesterday when they got up to it, the bulls were very aggressive early on, and then they looked above and saw that daunting gap and just backed off. Well, today they got new troops involved, and look where we are right now. That's using market-generated information to your advantage instead of you trying to have your bias decide what the market's trying to do. And when we have these discussions like we do, and we do these almost every day. Yeah, we talk about sports sometimes, never politics. That's banned in my room. But for the most part, we're trying to talk about what the market's doing that day or what we're looking forward to tomorrow. Now, righty is still down on the daily. They took out that Fed Wednesday low. They one time framing down 4 days. So they need to take out yesterday's high to come back into balance. Again, they had a trend day down yesterday. Okay? Right now they're in the upper distribution. Now we have about 782 Fed speakers speaking this morning. I'm being a little facetious, but not by much. There are 12 people speaking today. The only ones I care about, and there's 3 very important ones, even though they have spew verbal diarrhea also, is Powell at 9:20 Eastern. Lagarde speaks, I think, right after the opening. And then Yellen, can't believe she's still around, let alone people think of her as any importance, speaking, I believe, at 11:15. So be aware of that once the regular trade now is open. Market's doing a lot of volume up here right now. Okay? Now, is this short covering? Possibly. Remember, swing traders will take trades. There's another thing we spoke about. When the market failed up here, I said, when the market, even though we took back the trend day, now swing traders, and I don't mean on the monthly and weekly because they are up. I meant on the daily. Said swing traders might be shorting it here. Why is that? Well, and I just threw out a number. Say 82. If they think we failed at the balance high, they don't mind taking a short at 82, risking, say, to 02, 20 points. Now, that's a lot. Oh, my God, that's a lot. But what are they trying to get? Bottom of the balance is 33. Rounded out, 32. So they're willing to risk 20 points to make 50. That's a 2.5 to 1 trade. That's a good risk reward. So is that possible? That's who's covering up here, the people who did that yesterday? So a combination of what? 5 days worth of balance. Whoever's short now covering. Maybe some of those swing trade shorts covering. And of course, the momentum buys that you always get. This is what we talk about. We're always going to give you both sides. Okay? Now you're going to have people who were bearish all of a sudden screaming gap and go. Gap and go is a fallacy. And the reason it's a fallacy is because if the market truly gaps and goes, you'll have numerous opportunities throughout the day to get long. A gap and go suggests you're going to have a trend day. Right? So even if I miss the gap and go, I'm going to get numerous opportunities over 12, 13 time frames. However, if you get an inventory adjustment, I'd rather be buying it at a cheaper price than buying it up here if the market has an inventory correction. Again, these are the things you're going to learn in here. Been doing this for 40-somewhat years, my friends. All right? We keep it simple. We keep it real. Now, as far as the game plan for this morning, like I just said, right here, there's no trade for me. We have a huge penchant for front-running overnight highs and lows in ES and NQ. So again, if we open near the overnight highs, I don't have a problem shorting it, even though we have a gap, value, indices, and everything else in favor of the bulls. If we open near it. That's important. If we open where we are now and then start making a run for it, then I'll generally go the opposite way and take the long to get the overnight highs or lows. Big difference. Okay? So those are two trades there. Possible short if we open near the overnight highs, possible long. And the reason I want to short it near the overnight highs, because I know my out. If I short 27 and the overnight high is 28.50, maybe I use 30 as an out. It's a 3-point risk. If I'm right and it comes back down, it could come in easily 5 to 10 points. So that's why I want to do it at those levels. The reason I want to buy it if it opens around here and goes up is because the momentum just takes them there. Okay? So those are two early plays. Will these gaps hold? Well, again, right now it's over $2 in ES. It's like, what is it, $6? No, not that much. I don't know what it is in NQ. $5? It's huge. It's a $5, $6 gap. The odds of that getting filled are going to be slim. However, we talked about this. There is a lot coming out with these talking heads starting at 9:30. So just be prepared for that. But early on, the bulls are going to have very strong market-generated information. They're going to have gap, value, and indices all in their favor. And then chart-wise, and I know this is a long video, but boy, oh boy, I hope it's worth it. Chart-wise, just going to show you the daily. There it is, 5-day balance. Yesterday we stretched it. Today we're attempting to explode out of it. Now, the one thing I don't like at all with this move, only 580,000 still on the tape in SPY. So we're not getting any kind of longer-term buys at all-time highs. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. You got 70 minutes to come join this room. Right? Do yourself a favor and do it. Good luck trading today, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.